Welcome once again to my doctor show.
Thank you.
Mate, when were you diagnosed with breast cancer and what did the doctor say? Because here Dr. Nyongeza is saying it could be from the muscles, it could be from even the nodules that we have there. When were you diagnosed and what did the doctors tell you?
So for me, my breast cancer was, I got my diagnosis in August 2016. And like Dr. said, it's one of the things that you never really think about, that you could be able to get it. I've always known cancer to be an old person disease. But the one thing that I had picked up as a habit was the annual checkups that we are always told to go and just have yourself checked. So for me, every August of the year, I'd always go in for my optical, my dental, my chest, my pap smear, and my breast exam. And consistently over years, I had always had a clean bill of health. So even when I was going in for this review, it was just a normal, I didn't go for the checkup because I had any signs or symptoms. But during the breast exam, the doctor managed to pick up a very small lump, which I was not even able to pick up from the normal routine test that you're told to do. And that's where I got my diagnosis from. So that was 2016. Between 2016 and last year, I was able to go through my surgery, which was not very successful here. So I ended up having to redo it again in India. Then I came back and did my chemotherapy under NHIF, and then finished up with radiotherapy. So right now, I got my remission last year in June. So I'm actually, this is 1 year post-remission. Yeah.
And Mudhoni, you said that you used to go for your checkup every August of the year, and you used to get a clean bill of health each time you went for your checkups. But this time round, in 2016, you said?
Yes.
The doctor found something. How was your reaction like in the first place? And did you have, like the doctor was saying, history of breast cancer? Family history of breast cancer?
The minute I got my diagnosis, the funny thing is that I come from a family of doctors. So healthcare is one of those things that, in as much as we're always, and I work in community for public health, so we're always telling people how to take care of themselves, how to eat right, how to exercise, and you also kind of live by that standard. So you're not expecting to find some conditions, considering the lifestyle that you've opted to live. And we didn't have any family history, so it's one of those things that I knew happens to other people. So for you to get a diagnosis like that, it literally breaks you. Your life comes crashing down. And you forget all the information that you've always had in your head from your background with all the work that you've done in communities and public health. You literally forget everything, and you go into a panic. But I was lucky enough to have a very strong supportive system. I had family that was able to rally around me. I had friends and a Rotary Club that really stepped up and were able to hold me up even when I was going through the crisis. The other thing that really helped a lot was looking for information. Just getting onto Google. I know everybody says don't go into Google, but you're able to reach out to other groups that have gone through similar conditions, and you also get to see and meet other survivors. People who have gone through the journey and they have conquered it. So it actually makes you realize you literally come from a point of panic and depression and writing your will and handing over the little possessions that you have, because then you know you're exiting, to walking the journey and realizing that it can be a condition like any other condition. It's a bit chaotic, it's a bit crazy when you're going through the treatment, but with the right support, with the right information, with doctors who are willing to give you that information. I was lucky enough to have doctors who, literally my consultations used to be more of discussions. This is what we have, this is the condition you have, this is what it means, these are your treatment options, this is what the medicine will do to your body. So things like the nausea, the side effects that were expected, I kind of already was prepared so that when they happened and your nails turned black, I didn't panic. When my hair fell off, I knew it was going to happen. So I already went to the barber and just cut it off. So the fact that the doctor prepared me on what to expect during treatment really helped in psychologically being prepared to know that we are at this stage, this is what we're doing next, and this is what is expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most people think that cancer is like a death sentence. So how did you manage to pick yourself up and brace yourself for the long journey that you're just about to tell us? Somehow did you feel that, you know what, I think I'm going to die? Or I know you are prepared well psychologically by the doctor, but how was the personal journey when you're sleeping alone, when you're just alone? Did you have such thoughts come your way?
I mean, any person who gets a cancer diagnosis, the first thing that hits your mind is, I'm dying. That's the first thing that hits your mind. We live in a society that looks at cancer as this big thing that once you get it, literally just start planning your exit. And in all honesty, I was there. When I got my diagnosis, I actually knew that I have a couple of months to live. So I need to start getting my things in order and start planning what to do. And if it wasn't for the support system that I got, if it wasn't for the information that I managed to get, I would still have stayed in that state of mind where you don't know any wiser. Yeah. And for me, I was lucky enough to actually have people who stepped up, not even friends, complete strangers, who reached out and said, yes, I see for me, I was not able to keep quiet with my condition. For me, my way of dealing with it was talking about it. So any person I met who had 2, 3, 5 minutes and would always ask, how are you? I mean, we always wake up and say, how are you? And everybody says, fine. But for me, how are you was, no, I'm not fine, and I'm not fine because of this and this. So by me talking out, I was able to get in touch with people who either were oncologists or were survivors, and they were able to now let me know that it's okay. You can live through this thing. It is something that you'll have to live with for the rest of your life. It will have drastic changes on your lifestyle, but it's manageable. And having to get mentors who hold your hand and show you the right path and direct you to the right doctors made the journey much easier. It got to a point where I used to do my chemo. When I used to do my chemotherapy, the first sessions were tough because then your body is in shock, you still haven't processed it, you've not accepted it, that this is what I finally have and this is what I'm dealing with. But with subsequent sessions, I was able to actually sit down with an oncopsychologist who is a psychologist who specializes in just cancer care and patients. And he was able to walk me through that journey. He was able to mentally prepare me and let me know that this is not the end. And I always remember the one thing that he kept telling me is that your attitude will really make a difference on how the medication is going to work in your system. If you take a fighter attitude, then you're able to pull through. If you take a very defeated, pity party, I am sick kind of attitude, then even your body responds to that.
Right.
So for me, it wasn't even an option. I had to pick up a fighter attitude. I'm like, this is what has come my way, and I need to deal with it. And the one thing that kept me fighting is that I have a young child, and I purposed to make sure that I'll be here long enough to see her grow up, get married, and have her own family. So there was always that one thing that kept me waking up, that kept me going, even when I was at my lowest moments. And I was told, don't look at the entire journey in totality. Just break it down to one day at a time. It got to a point where I would wake up in the morning and I would say, so Muthoni, today what you're going to do is get out of bed, go have your breakfast, take a walk around the compound, and come back to bed. And that in itself was just an activity that the fact that you're able to achieve it would give you that feel good. You know, you fought something, there's this thing that has come against you, but you managed to fight it, and it will give you the morale to keep going each and every day.
Yeah, appreciating every day.
Yes.
And Muthoni, what's your treatment journey like? I know there are so many myths and misconceptions about chemotherapy, all the treatment options there are for cancer. Just tell us about your story. What was it like for you?
So for me, once I got my diagnosis, I was able to be linked up with a hospital here, an oncology doctor here, and we managed to do the FNA, the fine needle aspirate, and they confirmed that it was actually breast cancer. Mine was caught in stage 1, and it was lobular carcinoma in situ, meaning it hadn't spread out too much. So I did my surgery here, and when I came back for review, they realized that there were more lumps that they were not able to get. So based on that, as a family, we opted to go to India and have it done correctly there, and that was done. That was round about the time when NHIF was introducing the super cover in October of 2016. So I opted to come back. And for me, the option that I had with my doctors is they say that they will give me the prescription of what chemo drugs I'm supposed to be on. And if they're available back here, they would prefer for me to walk the cancer journey, the chemotherapy journey, with my family around me. Instead of having it in a foreign country where even the language dynamics are just, So I came back and had my chemotherapy here. I had my family around me, I had my friends around me. I had people who literally went out of their way to just make sure that, one, I go for my treatment. Because the days I just woke up and I was like, I've had it. I don't need any more. But they kept me going. They kept providing the support that I needed. They kept making sure that I'm eating right. And I was able to finish the 8 sessions of chemotherapy that I had to go through. Once I finished that, then I did my PET scan to just check whether the chemotherapy had worked. After which then, because I hadn't done a full mastectomy, I had to undergo 36 sessions of radiotherapy. So once that was done and I got a clean bill of health that we had achieved remission more or less meaning that the cells now had become dormant. After that, that was in June of 2017. So since June 2017, I've been going for quarterly reviews. Every 3 months, I have to go back in to just check that the cells have remained dormant. And this is 1 year later.
And because of time, Muthoni, before we let you go, what's your, in 10 seconds, what's your message of hope to other cancer survivors and also breast cancer patients and someone who just will not want to wake up and go for screening because of fear of the unknown? What's your one message?
My one message is don't be silent. Let people know what you're going through. You will be surprised how much support you will get. And for me, the reason that I was able to get the love and the support that I got helped me actually walk through a journey that was not as painful. I didn't have the classic signs and symptoms, the side effects of chemo that everybody goes through. And it was easy for me to walk through the journey. And that the fact that I was able to learn and walk the journey on a much easier path is the reason why I established the Cancer Cafe. The inspiration behind it was after every chemo session, my sisters and a few friends would come and pick me up, and we'll just sit around a coffee table. And as I'm having my green tea, they would ask questions, how was it, how was the process? And I remember once I got my remission, one of my siblings came and told me, if it wasn't for us walking the journey with you and answering our questions, we would not have learned what it means to have a cancer patient.
So do not stay silent.
Yes.
Do not, just speak it out.
Yes. So that's why we have the Cancer Cafe that meets every month for guys to just come and learn. Over a cup of tea, come and learn. And it's free and it's open to the public.
Where? Where do
we meet at Jumuiya Coffee House, which is at All Saints Cathedral, every second Tuesday of the month. From 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And so the numbers that they can call is 0777 642 953.
You can repeat the number?
0777 642 953.